Hey guys, good evening. So first of all, I don't know how many people have joined already. If you guys know anybody else who wants to join, then please do let them know we've started. I'll give it a couple of minutes and introduce the idea of this Ask Me Anything. So first of all, welcome to the very first Ask Me Anything, at Zell. The idea is that we get so many questions from, especially our YouTube audience, and we try to answer as many of them as we can via comments. A lot of you guys reach out to us, but I still get a lot of messages directly from different sources, and a lot of people want to directly have a conversation to ask about what seems to be the best decision for them, or ask any question about any of these qualifications that can help them in their finance career. So we decided to probably start this weekly or bi-weekly concept and just answer everything that you guys would like to understand. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes, guys. Uh, and idea will be, please keep posting all the questions in the chat box, and one by one, as many questions as I can, I'll answer them. So in the meantime, while people probably is still joining, and some of you guys have questions, I'll just take you all quickly through, um, basically little about Zell and a little about how we are trying to help everybody. So, as many of you all know, right, we specialize in training in finance and accounting qualifications. So, any program in India or globally that has value, starting with ACCA, which is of course what I have done, but other famous qualifications like CFA, CPA, CMA, FRM. Of course, you can ask about CA with respect, and probably compare it to MBA in India, overseas, etc. A lot of people are asking at different stages in life. And I had a student once who saw some of these videos when she was in grade 9 and decided to do ACCA as soon as she's done with grade 10. So for 2 years she waited, and finally she came to grade 11, picked up ACCA, cleared a couple of papers, and I was in our Delhi office that time, and she and her mom came to meet to just discuss how. I mean, first to talk about how she came up with ACCA because of YouTube, but then after that about her next few steps. So there are a lot of questions that people generally ask me, and I think I have the first question: what skills should I learn first if I'm starting from zero in finance? Mohit. Okay. Um, Mohit, I don't know. Can you write down which stage you are at? Are you in college? Have you graduated? In the meantime, Vedant has said, "Hi, I'm an ACCA student." Okay, Vedant, and yeah. So, what skills should I learn first if I'm starting from zero? If you are in college, then I think you just should start working somewhere, take some form of internship. If and if you have a longer plan, career wise, then obviously you need to take up one of these qualifications, because finance and accounts is that one domain yet where skill you need to have skills, but you also need a degree. Like, for example, if you get into marketing, or you're even a tech entrepreneur or a tech student for that matter, and you don't have a degree, but you've learned all the hard skills of, earlier it used to be coding, and now of course it's even more complex, but you could have skills and you can climb up the ladder. Finance is that one thing that almost everybody I know who's in this field, yeah, literally everybody, right, whether you are in consulting, whether you are in you're in the VCPE world, or you have your own business, you combine it all, and you always, either you are a CA, MBA in finance, CFA, one of these qualifications needs to be under your belt. So I would say that either start working just immediately, understand how it feels to work in that field, and if you like it, you can decide to pick up some course. But yeah, the skill you'll have to pick up, it's nothing to do with Excel or AI or communication. You need to start with hard skills in finance. Okay, then MRB is saying, I'm doing ACCA. I want to know about PER and modules. Okay. So everyone who's pursuing ACCA, um, along with clearing your exams, so in ACCA, if you clear all the 13 exams, you become an ACCA affiliate. However, if you combine that with work experience, then you become an ACCA member. Now, that work experience in ACCA, it's called PER, practical experience requirement. We made videos on these as well. You can have a look in case you want to understand more in depth. But this PER has three pillars. There is work experience. Second is there is something called performance objectives, and third is the ethics module. So, the first point, you need to have a total of 36 months of work experience in the field of finance and accounts. So, you can do it in multiple companies and you can work anywhere as long as it's related to finance or accounts. But I would always encourage students to start in a CA firm because it might be a little difficult. However, and that also start in audit, because when you start with audit, you learn about different industries, different business models, you understand about different accounting systems of companies. And if you work in a CA firm, you're in the heart, in the middle of just a lot of different clients. So 36 months of work experience ideally should be in our recommendation, it should be in a CA firm. Second, you need to fulfill something called performance objectives. So there are these objectives which the ACCA asks you to achieve, and they are broad. They are like, demonstrate leadership skills or that you've led a meeting, and they give you specializations that if you worked in audit, show us how you qualified a report. If you're in tax, if you worked in tax, have you filed returns, etc. So you have to answer these questions, and your senior, who ideally has to be a CA or an ACCA, will need to approve them. So if you work in a CA firm, you can do your work experience and performance objectives there. And the ethics module is the last pillar. That is something you have to give on your ACCA, in your ACCA, my ACCA it's called, right? Your account on ACCA. I think there's a £60 or something kind of a charge there. You pay that, it's a comprehension ethics module, you have to answer and pass it. And once you do that, you cover PER. So then you have 13 papers plus PER and you become an ACCA member. Okay, there's a lot of questions have come, guys. Okay, so Abir is asking that difference in CA, CFA, and MBA. Okay, and you're a BCom graduate. Okay, so CA and CFA, the difference is, so CA is obviously broader. It covers everything in the field of finance and accounts. And CFA is a specialization in the field of finance. So instead of asking which one is better, the better question is, first of all, are you aware whether you want to get into finance or you want to stick to CA, which is broader? Most of the time, if you have the answer here, your answer should be clear. But I know many students are confused here. Then you come to the more nuanced part of the course, that which one is better. So CA, you can start after 12th. CFA, you have to start generally in your second last year of graduation. So if you're in BCom, you'll give the first CFA exam in your second year. But in CA, you'll start in your first year. However, CA is obviously more, it is definitely more vigorous and tedious. CFA is also no picnic, but it has more flexibility. So if you're not sure, then please consult people who understand you, and ask them, people who are CAs or CFAs, and ask them what do they do in a typical day. Like a CA can do a lot of things. They can, like I said earlier, they can do audit, they can work in CA firms, they can work in any company and head the finance and accounting department. They can start their own companies. CAs are sort of all-rounders. CFAs is more specialized. You get into markets, you get into investment. It can be a first step into investment banking. You can again get into this whole venture capital, private equity, and then ideally after CFA, if you do an MBA in finance, that's more often than not considered a very good combination. So I would say that if you are not sure and want to find a quick answer, then CFA is slightly quicker than CA. But if you want to do something that is broader, uh, then you should take up CA. Okay, Krupa asking from where can we can study for ACCA. I mean, you can self-study. Providers like us at Zella, there you can reach out to us. But yeah, it's either you take training or you self-study. Mayank is asking, can I get a job in UK after ACC and 4 5 years of experience? So, Mayank, I know a lot of people who have tried a lot in different countries after a few years of experience, and it generally it's literally a 50-50. It depends on a few factors like which country are you aiming for? What's the situation in that country? Like, for example, a few years ago, Canada was opening its arms to accountants, and Indian people were sort of flowing there. And now it's become a little more difficult in Canada. So also, what is your 4 5 years of experience here that matters over, when you are looking at the transition. So it's going overseas because of your career. You have to always seek it out, always keep your doors open. But whether you'll get there or no, it's not a simple math of having experience alone. So I hope you get there, but please keep looking out. If not today, it will work out hopefully in the near future. Okay. Okay, so Minal is asking, how important is knowing English for a finance career in India? That's a great question, actually. So, Minal, honestly, it's becoming more and more and more crucial that English and strong communication skills are a part of you know your personality. I I know that sometimes it's everyone doesn't learn English as a second language, but and there will be a lot of pockets where you can probably have a decent career without it. But when you talk about growth, when you talk about bigger companies, when you talk about metros, when you talk about especially going overseas, I think English is becoming a necessary requirement. In fact, recently, I have a younger brother who specializes in communication training, um, and he trains a lot of people across the world. And his company is called Frantically Speaking. If you want to learn more about English, you can go through that. But irrespective, at Zell, what we've done is his entire curriculum, which is worth a few lakhs, we've incorporated into our sort of package for every student, so that you can gain access to that for free and learn as much as you can about communication, because it's become such an important asset. So yeah, English is all, I would say it's a must now. Okay, what industries beyond auditing and accounting hire ACCA professionals? So I'll tell you that it's almost all of the finance and accounting domains. So we have people in accounting advisory, risk advisory, mergers and acquisitions, valuations. We have people who have gotten into forensic auditing, which is on, I know you said auditing, but forensic auditing is more about detecting fraud. There are people who become CFOs of public companies as ACCAs. There are people who have started their own companies. Uh, you know, the person who heads our finance department at Zell is an ACCA himself. So after a certain level, you can get into professional or business or markets, or you can reach a CXO level, or you can become a founder. All of that is possible. We've seen ACCS do all of that. Jay is asking, do I need to be good at math to succeed? So I would say that it's never necessary. Like, especially to clear these exams, you don't need to be. However, I think I've seen that if you are quick with numbers, at least the basics, you don't need to know much complicated, formulae related equations, etc. But yeah, as long as you can do basic mental maths quickly, I think that will be a good advantage. But coming back to the point, to clear the exams, yes, you need basic math, but not, there's nothing more. Okay. Um, ACCA papers clear karte hi, how much can we expect? Drupad Singh is asking. Um, so we've seen people start at 4 lakhs, and all the way, the highest package this year a student got with no experience and just clearing ACCA exams is 10 lakhs. So it depends on where you are, how your interview went, how how you are as a with your technical skills, with your soft skills, which company you've gone to. But yeah, I would say 4 to 10 lakhs without any experience, by the way. If you clear the papers and you have a couple of years of experience, I mean, it can go to 12 lakhs depending on, again, all these factors. Okay, Vedant's asking. Wait, where did it go? Right combo. I would say it's a great combo as long as you know you are clear with yourself as to why you took the second qualification. Because how I always suggest is that the first time you decide what to do, the first big qualification, in your case ACCA, that can be with a lot of research and a lot of discussions. But at the end of the day, you don't know how it will be, so you have to put a little bit of faith in what you are doing and just jump into it. However, by the time you reach the time you take the second qualification, I would say that you studied the first one, so you've explored other, deeper fields. And if you have a little bit of work experience, you could explore what you are good at or what you like. And basis what you think you are becoming good at from your first qualification, that's when you should decide what you should do for the second one. So if that's how you decided CFA, that I like finance, I like markets, I like the investment side of it, or you have a little bit of work experience and you're thinking about it, then go for it. If it's very random, like you just want degrees to collect, then I would say ACCA plus CFA is great, because CFA level 1, a lot of subjects completely overlap with what you study in ACCA. So level 1 will become easier, and level 2, level 3, you'll have to work hard enough for CFA. But then at the end, you have a broad finance and accounting qualification in ACCA, which is global in nature. And then you have a specialization in CFA, which is US based, again, global in nature. I think that's also pretty strong on your CV. Okay. Karan saying, I'm undergraduate doing finance, thinking of FRM, after that CFA. So what will be the view? Yeah, FRM plus CFA is a it's a solid combo since many, I think since the longest of time. One of our top faculty members, name is Aman Singhania. He is the vice president of products at National Stock Exchange, and he himself is a CFA plus FRM. And he's always open. He makes very few selected hires every year, but for him, a CFA plus FRM combo is great. So yeah, I think, and plus the beauty is that you can't give CFA in your first year of undergraduation, but you can give FRM, and it takes you 1.5 years to complete FRM. So you can finish FRM first, and then in that high momentum, pick up CFA, and hopefully, so your first year of BCom you'll do FRM, second year of BCom CFA level 1, third year CFA level 2. So by the time you graduate, you have FRM plus 2 levels of CFA. You should start working while simultaneously doing CFA level 3. If you succeed in all of this, by the time you have level 3, you'll have CFA plus FRM plus 2 to 3 years of experience at a young age. I think that's a solid story as well. Okay. Which papers should I choose, and how should I choose amongst the 4 ACCA P level papers? Okay, so for anybody who's an ACCA student and you're specifically asking about the P level papers, the good part is that from the 4 P level papers you give, there is no sequence to it. You can give any paper in any order. And if you have given skill level, then you should go with what you think you are good at. So if you are good in FR, you should give SBR first. There is SBL, which is the business paper, which I honestly I love that. It's my favorite exam, and it's very different in a good way. And then of course there is the higher version of FM and PM, and audit and tax. So if you know the what you're good at, then go for it. But if you don't, then I would say don't put too much of stress on your head. Just take any sequence is good, right? And if you're taking audit from your optional papers, make sure that you give SBR before audit. That's all. Otherwise, any sequence is good. Okay, I'm in knowledge level of ACCA. I want to know how many days before I should book the exam. Is there any procedure? Yeah, I mean, it's nothing much in advance. Just call one of us. Like, you have to call a licensed exam center. So of course you can call us, and you just let us know in the next few days when. Most likely, always we have slots available. You just decide your slot and you can book it. I think you don't even need to worry more than a week in advance. Can you suggest me which finance course I can pursue to work in fintech? So now the good part is that all these programs are introducing uh, tech in their curriculum, ACCA, CFA, all of this. We also come up with programs in collaboration with Deloitte and Paytm to provide fintech. So if you want to do specialization in fintech, you'll have to reach out to us. We have made a separate course on it, but in general, any of these courses are a good base. I would suggest that if you, especially, if you're an engineering student, then CFA is great. Otherwise, if you're a commerce student, take any, and then enter into the fintech world and start working your way up from there, because um, fintech is changing very fast, and unlike the other qualifications which are more standard in nature, fintech as a skill is one of those skills that you can actually develop to move ahead in your career. Okay. So, if a student who doesn't come from a finance background, what course can he or she opt for? I assume you mean which certification, which course certification to enter into finance or accounts. And I would again say ACCA is the easiest because they have an entry pathway for people who have no background. So the first cup you will have to study a little more, but that extra couple of papers you take are your base because you've not come from the finance field. So I would say, yeah, I'm doing CA. Should I start doing CFA? I want to become an investment banker. So yes, CFA is a great first step. MBA is also an amazing step to get into investment banking. But I have people who have, you know, they, you have to be very self-sufficient. You need to ensure that whatever your qualification which is needed, you need to search for opportunities, start working. I have my one of my students is an ACCA plus CFA. He had worked in Deloitte. He wanted to get into investment banking. He found a boutique investment bank, worked there for a couple of years, learned a lot very fast, worked very hard, and then he started his own investment banking boutique firm. And I from what last I know, he's killing it. So yeah, you can take up after CA, you can take up CFA. It'll be a great step one. Sabyasachi is asking, completed BTech in 23 and now want to pursue CFA. Any suggestions, jobs and all after level one? I mean, CFA, if you complete after BTech, that's also a great combo. I'm assuming you want to get into finance and, possibly something like fintech. So yeah, level one opportunities, again, depending on your work experience, it will range from 4 lakhs to 7, 8 lakhs. And as you increase your work experience and clear each level of CFA, value just keeps going higher and higher. Hmm. Uh, Krupa's asking, what's the process to enroll? So, Krupa, you'll have to reach out. We'll be able to help you accordingly. CFA में मुंबई में कोचिंग हिंदी प्लस इंग्लिश में पढ़ाते हो. I can't actually, Aditya, uh, there's no Hindi in CFA. You'll have to give the exam in English. So yeah, I'm so sorry. You'll have to do it like that. I'm doing my BCom investment banking CFA in my first year. Okay, that's great. I think you're just doing fine. Just continue pursuing CFA. Please clear with your BCom. I think you'll be great. Mansi just joined from the UK. Great. Okay. Uh, can ACC 8 papers qualified get a job in accounting and finance rules? Yeah. We have people with 4 starting from it. Okay, Karthik says I have evaluation done for CPA and I have 150 credits with zero on accounting. Oh, that's so sad. So yeah, you will need So again, you will have to, I don't know which state you tried from, but yeah, every state requires 100 and at least 120 credits of their criteria to give the to appear for the CPA exam. So yeah, if you want, you'll have to once again reach out, because this will have to require a lot of understanding of your personal report card. Where did you apply CPA? Where did you try to register with CPA from, etc., etc. Okay, can you tell me how many ACCA exemptions for CPA? I think you get 7 or 8 exemptions out of 13 papers if you are a CPA. When should I complete my ethics module? During my P level preparation or after? I think that do it whenever you have time. If possible, do it during your preparation. Otherwise, worst case, do it as soon as you're done. But please don't wait longer. You'll lose motivation. You'll forget about it. Okay, I'm pursuing an integrated BBA with ACC and have secured 9 exemptions. With the current SGPA of 7 and plans to take SBL in December, would pursuing an internship now be advisable? That's a good question. Um, I'm generally the kind to encourage students to work and study as hard as you can and not worry. But if you're giving your first SBL exam in December and you've gotten 9 exemptions, you'll have to put in a lot of effort, because it's the first ACC exam. You're jumping in directly with the professional level paper. So I would recommend put your heart and soul in studying. Clear 1 or 2 papers, get the rhythm of how to study for ACC and pass these exams. And once you know that, uh, then I would suggest you work and study together. So, Netik said, I want a job in India. And how is the scope of CFA or CPA or CM? I'm very confused here. Well, luckily, all of these are picking up like crazy over the last 10 years. So I would suggest that depending on which direction in your career, finance or CA or CMA you want to go towards, you should pick up one of the programs. Okay. Okay. One query, ACCA year registration. If you register in September, would it last for year or December itself? Please guide. No, I think once you register for as a ACCA student, it will last. But if it's for the exam, then it is depending on which exam you registered for. Okay, I'm from low middle class student, want to pursue ACCA. Can I get some scholarship from Zell? Yes, you can. We have certain criteria. Please do reach out, and if we can, we'd love to help you out. Okay. In Dubai, do we have signing authority for an ACCA? Yes, we do. Can you tell me whether banking versus corporate finance versus investment banking, which one has better growth? Actually, all I know those kind of questions are not the best, because I think we've seen people in all domains grow. However, I have seen that if you're good in if you're good in whatever you do, you can grow in all. But I've seen most people jump into investment banking right now because there's a lot of opportunity and people feel it's the highest growing. Okay, so I'm an average student, recently cleared CA, enrolling for ACCA. How to decide which field or role to enter in? Well, if studying the course is not helping you decide, then the only answer is you've got to try by working for a few months in some well thought out domains. So, if you just want to explore, auditing is great because you learn a lot. But if you have some goals, right, you know that, okay, I like networking and I like building financial models, So you can get into something like investment banking, or you understand investing, you can get into um, venture capital or private equity. If you like business, right, you can get into advisory or consulting. So there are a lot of fields you can get into once you're a CA or an ACCA. Which is the best for CFA level 1 coaching? Well, I mean, we I don't know if which is the best, but I do know that we can help you out with that. So please do reach out. Can ACCA work in the US? I know that there are a lot of ACCAs in the US, but it's not the, it's not, it's not recommended that you study ACCA for US. If that's the case, you should do CPA. Zell में placement guarantee होती है. So Shreyash, we of course we will not be able to guarantee anything. We do our best. We just released a placement report for the last year. We've placed over 500 students in good companies, good packages. We try our best, but yeah, we will not. I mean, it's not possible for us to guarantee any of the placement aspect. What's the benefit of the IIM course with ACCA? Okay, so as some of you all might know, we've uh, tied up with IIM Mumbai to provide ACCA to its student base, and I think it's a unique combination. It's the first time that ACCA has tied up with an IIM, and we are the partners that have to facilitate that, and that program is being launched this quarter. So there are a lot of people who want to study finance and accounting, like, and want a certification like ACCA. At the same time, they want a heavy MBA name on their CV. So IIM is obviously number one in India. So now IIM Mumbai has come up with a diploma, an MBA, you can think of it like that, in international accounting and finance. So you take it up online. It's for 1 year, and you need to have some eligibility criteria over there. You need to have a couple of years of work experience, and of course, you have to pass IIM's entrance exam. But if you do and you get selected, you will study for a year a combination of international accounting and finance taught by IIM, along with the first 9 papers of ACCA curriculum in your IIM. So you get the first 9 papers of ACCA exempt. So at the end of this, you get an IIM certificate where you become an IIM alumni, and you have 9 papers exempted for ACCA. Plus, you learn enough about the other 4 papers in ACCA that you give the exam and you get a global qualification along with an IIM. So this is the first in India kind of a partnership. A lot of people have already started calling and trying to figure out if they're eligible and asking about when the entrance is. I think post that, the value of what's on your CV hopefully should explode. A lot of good companies recognize the combination of a global qualification with an IIM, and yeah, if I hope some of you guys are the first students in this cohort. Okay, so I'm pursuing BBA, getting only one exemption. I have not started ACCA yet. Should I continue and do ACCA, or should I just focus on ACCA? Please, you can do it easily with a BBA. So please do ensure that you do your BBA plus ACCA both together and try to graduate your bachelor's along with ACCA's 13 papers, because it is possible. It is difficult, but it's possible. And within that, if you can squeeze in a few months, or if possible, a year or two of work, a lot of people, it just sounds difficult to a lot of people, but it is feasible for many. um, i had I had personally done that, and a lot of the initial students were coached in the same way. They used to follow it. Now I would recommend everybody who's thinking about it that try and squeeze in the amount of time in which you can get your ACCA qualification plus your work experience, everything together. I think it'll be great. If I've completed my ACCA 9 papers, can I join Zell for professional level? Absolutely. Okay, after getting job in CFA will be worth in future, like after clearing all levels. Yeah, yeah. People have definitely had a better career when they are level 3 cleared versus if they're just level 1. Although your level 1 is a great starting point. Is it advisable to do CFA with a 9 to 5 job? Yes. MBA plus CFA good option? Yes. Somebody's asking the fees for ACCA. Um, Overall, if you give all 13 papers over a period of 3 years, it should cost you around 4 to 5 lakhs total, including everything, the training fees, the study material, the exam fees, etc. So you can spread out 4 to 5 lakhs over 3 years. Plus, in this, if you're earning as well, then you can earn as you learn. And even if you don't, and you get your first job at the end of it, you'll easily be able to cover the entire cost of ACCA in your first year of income. Okay, so Yogesh saying I have enrolled in CMA, but I don't feel like studying. I understand, Yogesh, but you have no option. Just you'll have to get up and start studying because being left behind is not the option you want to choose. Okay. So Charvi is asking a good question. I've recently completed BCom and I'm getting certain papers exempted. Would it be wise to take the exemption since I need to pay exemption fees, or should I appear for them? Awesome. So, as many of you all know, ACCA is a great flexible qualification that most of us, for some reason, will be at any stage getting exemptions. And out of 13 papers, if you get 3 or 4 papers or 5 papers exempted, it feels like a great start. And it is. However, two things, guys. Number one, as Charvi's asked, it's not. Please do not. I would request. I know it's difficult for us as students to not consider money, but to decide on whether you should take a step or not because of a cost of paying exemption fees and having to give the exam anyways. Don't worry about the cost. It will make up for it in infinite amount in the future, in the near future. That too. But what is more important is that, look, ACC is assuming that if you are getting exemptions, it's because they feel that you have studied what they're exempting you from somewhere in your other education, maybe in college. And if you just started college, then they're expecting you will study it. Now, while that's theoretically a good idea, I've seen students, really smart students, right, struggle because their base is weak because they took exemptions and didn't pay attention at it since they only decided to pay attention for the ACC exams they have to appear for. So I would say that it's conflicting for many students. But if you can, instead of being in a hurry, if you don't mind investing 6 months of your life and instead of saving a little bit, you have the financial capacity to invest in your education, then do the base. Don't take the exemptions, give the exams. You might have a tougher time in the beginning, but you will definitely have an easier time later. That would be the best way up forward, guys. Okay. Failed a paper twice in the P level. Can Zell help? Yeah. Pass rate. So the official pass rate of P level papers across the world is between 30 to 40%. That means 3 to 4 out of 10 people pass the exam. We have a slightly higher rate because of course, we have faculty members and content creators and mentors, etc. So we almost have 7 to 8 people clearing the exams every quarter. Is ACC relevant with CS? Not too much. Impact of new syllabus in ACCA. Okay, so the new syllabus, guys, as some of you all might know, ACCA is doing a revamp of it by 2027. Now, so far they've just given us some basic information. So I think let some information come out. I don't think it will impact anybody starting right now or studying right now. It will not make any difference. So as and when ACCA lets us know, we'll definitely share it with all of you guys. Make videos on it so you guys have more and more clarity. Will it be easier for me to get a job in New Zealand once I do ACCA and with PR? Like I said, you can. It's definitely possible, but I don't think it should be a plan you depend upon. Just hope that, I mean, study, work, and keep sort of talk to a lot of people about how to get there. It won't be too difficult to find people who can give you nice ideas and solutions. You can almost see a journey of companies hiring people. What do people in India need to do in order for a few companies in New Zealand to select you? So you'll have to do that research, and hopefully if things fall in place for you, I think it is possible to get there. Does ACC have the best opportunity in Canada? I know that a lot of students go there, have gone there. Faculties of mine have settled down in Canada. But I know that a lot of it depended on the timing. So yes, it does have a lot of opportunity in Canada, but you'll have to once again go like, see guys, you'll have to study first and then demand results. It's very difficult to be assured of results and then take steps towards it. So I would say that something like studying ACC is great because you have a you have the potential to go there. But worst case scenario, it doesn't happen. You still have a lot of options to fall upon, and I would recommend everybody to think like that. Okay, so guys, I think those are all the questions for now. uh, Guys, a lot of you guys are asking for some smaller aspects like fees and all of what the bodies are charging, CFA fees, ACC fees. Please feel free, reach out, look at the website, look at our website. I mean, um, on an average an ACC exam is 10 to 12,000 rupees every exam. CFA I think is what, close to one, I think no, I think 80,000 or 1 lakh per exam. So you'll have to check all of that, guys. Yep. Okay. So, guys, I hope that you all found some value. I hope I answered a lot of you guys' questions. Um, as always, we'll be doing this again. And if you are interested in reaching out to us, please do reach out. Last question somebody's asked is, does CFA have scope in India? I mean, yeah, it's one qualification. You ask anybody and they'll know its value. And like I said, you get opportunity after level one ranging from 4 lakhs, which with no experience, all the way to 7-10 lakhs, depending on how much experience you have, which company you've gone to, how your interview went, etc., etc. So, like, scope of these qualifications now, I think, is no more a question. Uh, it's more about picking it up, completing it quickly, and then keeping your doors open to search for more and more opportunities. Anyways, guys, I hope you all had a deeper understanding. I hope some of your questions were well answered. And if not, please do reach out. We'd love to help each of you guys individually.